Major moves. We going all in, like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. Making major moves.
Warning, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't blame me or any other random person that gives you some money tips for any of your financial decisions. I provide information based on research that may guide you to taking a deeper look at a particular company. However, in no way am I suggesting to invest or not invest in that company. Your decisions are that of your own. I present information that is readily available on the internet, and I piece together the story to create and provide a more holistic concept to create a bigger picture. This information is for educational purposes only. Ultimately, I'm a guy in a Spider-Man mask, and you should not take financial advice or information from me. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, guten morgen, all the other languages out there. I don't know them, I know English. I'm pretty proficient in that. I want to take the time to thank you guys for joining me again, as always. I come to not just give you guys news, but I come to give you guys, teach you an actual lesson here, as if there was school, gather around, kids, sit down, let's parlay, let's have a conversation. Today's lesson is about the new issuance of green bonds. I'm familiar with green bonds being issued out in Europe and green bonds being issued out in Singapore by the MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the MOF as well. And the green bonds itself will be utilizing the Stellar rails, which is XLM. So let's learn a bit about this, okay? So here is the issuance announcement of the green bonds for Europe. And then here is the green bonds issue in Singapore, green bond framework introduced for upcoming inaugural Singapore sovereign green bond issuance. So we know they exist now. We know they're here. On my Twitter, I've been talking about this project Genesis. There's report 1 and report 2, as well as carbon credits. We're going to be quickly going over report 1, skimming through report 2, and I'll show you the carbon credits, and then I'll show you a couple of videos to follow along with that as well. Let's keep going here. So, just learning a bit about bonds. What is a bond and how does it differ from other financing options? A bond is a form of debt security. A debt security is a legal contract for money owed that can be bought and sold between parties. Entities seeking financing have two basic options to raise funds. There's stock equities and there's bonds. Bonds are a form of debt, whereas stocks are a form of ownership. Like as if you own a portion of that company, you can make managerial decisions. Not managerial, but you have voting rights is what I should say when they send up proxies every quarter or whenever they have their votes for the company. Investors in bonds become creditors of the issuing entity. They are paid a fixed interest rate coupon and return their initial investment principal upon maturity. Because bonds typically pay a fixed interest rate over the maturity period, they're often referred to as fixed income security. Once purchased from the issuer through financial institution acting as dealers, bonds can continue to be traded in the securities market. Investors in stocks, on the other hand, purchase a portion of the issuing firm. Therefore, the return of their investment fluctuates in accordance with the dividends paid by the issuing firm and the value of the issuing firm. Stocks are also traded in the security market. So now that we have a basic understanding of what a bond is, here, this is from CNN or CNBC. This was posted 2021, talking about how $1 trillion green bond markets works.
In the bond market. Bonds as we know them work like this. An issuer, most often a company or a government, raises money by offering bonds to investors. They're basically IOUs. In exchange for getting money up front when you sell the bond, you pay the bondholder back over a certain amount of time with interest. Issuers use these bonds to raise money to invest in their business, employees, infrastructure, anything you name it. But green bonds are different.
The fundamental difference is that it's about what it's financing, first and foremost.
Money raised from these are earmarked for projects that are positive for the environment.
The one key difference is that the issuer makes a non-binding voluntary commitment to earmark the proceeds and use them for specific environmentally friendly projects. So it could be renewable energy, energy efficient buildings, clean transportation, clean water. But from a structure standpoint, they tend to be the same as the traditional bonds that issuer would bring to market, minus the green commitment.
The market here is bigger than just green bonds.
So we saw last year about 490 billion of green, social, and sustainability bonds combined. This year we're expecting about 650 billion across those three categories.
And that's up 32% from 2020.
So it just keeps going.
Sustainable bonds break out into three categories: green, social, and sustainability.
Social bonds would be used primarily for social purposes. Could be affordable housing or microfinance.
And the sustainability bond category here basically means a bond meets both green and social standards of issuance. The biggest slice of the pie goes to green bonds, with an expected $375 billion of issuance in 2021.
In 2020, green bonds reached about 1 trillion USD at the end of 2019.
And issuance is growing.
So it's a huge diverse mix: banks, corporates, and governments. Anyone issuing or the ability to issue a bond is issuing when they have the eligible assets to do so.
Most issuances so far have been considered investment grade. That means...
Perfect. So now that we have a basic understanding of what a green bond is, allow me to introduce to you guys Project Genesis 1.0 prototype digital platform for green bond tokenization. This is from the Bank of International Settlements here. This came out November 2022. In many countries, issuing and investing in bonds can be cumbersome and complex, involving many steps and parties and typically requiring a considerable financial commitment from the investor, which would be ourselves or yourself or whoever that investor is. For those investing in environmentally friendly projects, there is uncertainty about whether the bond issuer is delivering the positive green impact it committed to at issuance. Also, there are typically no liquid or transparent secondary markets for retail investors. So typically the value of the bond itself would be at an exaggerated or enormous price. So you and I would be priced out of this and we couldn't purchase into something like this. But for these new bonds now, these green bonds, they allow for micro amounts or micro payments or micro investments is what I'm looking for here. The one that is on Shareable, which is one of the BIS's Project Genesis 2.0 reports, they talk about Shareables, which is an app, which is, I'll get into that. Anyways, we're jumping ahead of ourselves here. So here, digitizing green bond issuance by digital asset and GFT. Just a quick video here.
The Bank for International Settlements Innovation Hub and the Hong Kong Monetary Authority have joined forces to deliver the next generation of tokenized asset infrastructure. This new digital infrastructure will not only offer greater efficiency and transparency across green investments in the Hong Kong market, it will also help issuers and governments meet their environmental and sustainability goals. To alleviate many of the complexities associated with green bond issuance and to demystify uncertainties surrounding green impact, BIS and HKMA launched Project Genesis, a green bond issuance prototype that utilizes digital assets' core technology offering, DAML. DAML is a multi-party application platform that uses smart contracts to simplify complex business processes while also making data more accessible. Through DAML, blockchain, and IoT, the Project Genesis prototype is able to share real-time data across the green bond lifecycle while eliminating duplicative processing.
Our first goal is to empower retail. We want to make possible investing in government green bonds in a simple way via an app that shows accrued interest and green impact in real time. Furthermore, we want to empower retail to own green bond finance projects in their neighborhood.
Our second goal is to foster achieving Hong Kong's green targets. The Hong Kong SAR government has set ambitious carbon emission reduction goals, tapping retail to realize.
Now, think back, I've shown you this woman before, that's Benedict Knowles. She was also a part of Project Aurum, which has to do with the two-tiered banking system itself. Look into that. Look into my other videos, you'll see her. I gave you a breakdown on who she is.
Aspiring green projects helps Hong Kong to fulfill its climate obligations under the Paris Agreement.
Our third goal is to explore and foster a new financial ecosystem. Distributed ledger technology is becoming an important building block of future financial systems. Project Genesis helps familiarize market participants with this new technology architecture.
In addition to Allinfra's IoT platform, Project Genesis will leverage Octopus. Project Genesis demonstrates that digital assets residing on blockchain can enhance efficiency by shortening bond settlement from T+2 to near real time, while also connecting the segregated order books managed by multiple banks and brokers.
Cool. So now, here we are, the BIS Innovation Hub. This is Project Genesis that we were just listening to. This is report number 2 now. A prototype for green bond tokenization by the Liberty Consortium. This is back in November 2021. Let's find out who the Liberty Consortium. Here's the Liberty Consortium. And then here's SC Ventures and Shareable Assets. Alright? So now we know that name. Let's find out who they are. What's going on here? This is SC Ventures website here. This is how Stan Chart's Liberty met the MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore, CBDC challenge. What it says is this is 2 months prior to the Project Genesis report 2. This is September 23rd, 2021. September, October, November. 2 months. Standard Charter and a consortium with its in-house SC Ventures with a fintech, Shareable Assets, is driving a prototype concept that would use government's digital money to fully open bond markets to retail investors, as we're learning about Project Genesis. The concept is one of 15 proposals in the finalist list of a global CBDC challenge organized by Monetary Authority of Singapore to explore its use case for central bank digital currencies. DigFin is profiling a number of these use cases. Aaron Guok, head of capital markets for Asian, a Standard Charter in Singapore, put together the pitch based on Liberty, a startup. So there it is, Liberty, a startup he funded with backing from SC Ventures. That's who these guys are. SC Ventures, okay? That's the site we're on here. Which supports internal entrepreneurs. So let's jump back here now. Here we go. Executive summary will give us a high-level overview of what this project is about. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Genesis, the BIS Innovation Hub's first green finance project in collaboration with HKMA, explores the technological feasibility and opportunities of green bond tokenization. This report shows the prototype produced by the Liberty Consortium, as we learned, is funded by the SC Ventures, comprised of Standard Chartered Bank, SC Ventures, and Shareable Assets, referred to as the Liberty Prototype, or, in this document, the Prototype. Liberty Prototype develops a technology sample to concept test a government-issued digital asset for the retail in Hong Kong market. So you saw that their issued digital asset test a government-issued digital asset in the HKMA. Alright. We'll just type in Stellar. This whole project is founded upon the back of Stellar XLM here. Digital assets are registered on a digital registry, in this case a ledger that runs on the Stellar network. So what they're going to do now in terms of what this project is, they're going to give you an overview of what the onboarding is like. They're going to give you an overview on what the platform and app is like, and then a back end view of what that actually looks like in the back end, and then it's going to give you an overview of how you make a purchase while you're on that platform. Let's see. There was a quick video about that. Let's see if I can find that. Is this it here?
Did you know that a third of all adults are unbanked? That's 1.7 billion people around the world. And that the safest asset any citizen can
No, this isn't it, but this will be a good video still.
invest in are inaccessible by most, especially in emerging economies. One of the biggest issues in our financial system today is that it wasn't built for the average Joe. But Liberty is here to level the playing field. Liberty is on a mission to make government bonds more accessible to retail investors through a secured digital financial ecosystem. Liberty will be the platform that extracts the best aspects of blockchain technologies to directly connect citizens with the government and allow any citizen to buy the nation's safest asset. Anyone can now save and grow their savings with improved retail investor experience.
Lower cost to issuers. Alright.
And
remember, on the back end of things, they are using these Stellar XLM rails for this, so they're going to have a lower cost for sure. This whole project we're looking at right now, in terms of the real world now, as they're advertising here, what it seems to me is Stellar has been chosen for this. They have definitely been chosen as the ones for this project. I can't see them going to the sandbox, utilizing this, playing around with it, and then out of the blue just, nope, let's switch it up and get something else. Stellar is the desired blockchain for this, and this is how it's going to operate. So for me, in terms of investing, I made a purchase of XLM because I know they're going to be a fiend in this game. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm a grown-ass man wearing a Spider-Man mask here. Don't follow any financial advice. I tell you that about what I'm doing. That's it.
a quicker turnaround, leveraging traceability of assets and transactions on the blockchain and allowing peer-to-peer exchanges. All at your fingertips.
There we
But
go.
that's
There's
just
the
the
overview.
beginning. The Liberty prototype for Project Genesis is innovated and designed in conjunction with the BIS Innovation Hub, Hong Kong, to help residents take direct ownership in Hong Kong's green future. Retail investors can not only directly purchase the green bonds in minimal denominations, but also check their contributions live and measure their real-time impact on Hong Kong's environmentally friendly and sustainable growth. Within this secured financial network, and with the ability to exchange bonds peer-to-peer, the possibilities are limitless. By making it easy for citizens to save and grow their wealth while contributing directly to the nation's future, the social impact Liberty will have is undeniable. By increasing accessibility and breaking down existing barriers for wider bond adoption, Liberty hopes to become a medium for greater economic inclusion and sustainable growth. Liberty will be a true democratizer for your nation's finance.
Awesome. Okay. Let's continue going on now. Managing cryptographic keys is a critical challenge and a risk area for solutions like this. Key parts in these solutions are a long collection of seemingly random characters and numbers. That's not important. That's just talking about, there it is, here we go. So here's the process now, the onboarding, what it looks like. And you have the, I'm using my fingers to touch the screen. You can't see my finger on the screen here. So here's the back end of things here, where they issue the bonds, and here's the blockchain facilitator, which is XLM, through the Stellar network. Stellar Consensus Protocol, SCP. And then here's what we see at on the front end there. And there it is, Liberty and Shareable. And as you continue to go through it, here's the payment service. And let's begin to break things down for you to give you an overview of what it looks like. But let's keep going through and see this. How many times we see Stellar in this? All right, there's 46 times we see Stellar throughout this. So Stellar is the one for the Stellar blockchain. All right, let's keep going. So also with the BIS, there is Project Genesis 2.0, smart contract-based carbon credits attached to green bonds. I'm not sure if that is on the exact same rails as Stellar. I'm not sure if that's a different tokenization method at that point, or if it's a different chain that they're using in terms of interoperability with XLM, or if it is XLM, I couldn't tell you. But as we go to this now here, benefits demonstrate in Project Genesis 2.0 is combining the green bond and carbon markets. Access to potentially lower cost of capital for green project or activity. Conceptually, the advantage of pledging carbon credit units as part of the green bond coupon enables bond issuers to access cheaper funds for green investments compared with their prevailing financial conditions. The economic benefits in exchange of future delivery of carbon credits units attached to the bond transforms the current carbon market from an ex post reward for corporates into an ex ante enabler to facilitate access to lower financial costs from the capital markets. That's a mouthful there. I can't even put that into English words. If any of you guys had understood that, by all means, I know that's a very important key and piece to this, but if anybody else understood that, by all means, throw that in the comment there. I'm still learning. I'm literally teaching myself as I go, and from my findings, I present it to you guys here. I don't profess to be anything special at all. I am the furthest thing from special. I'm just a grown-ass man in a Spider-Man mask who does research. Here we go. So this is initially where the concept that I understand came from here, from the World Bank. 10 years of green bonds from evolution to revolution. I know it's a lot of videos today, but I mean, I'm just trying to put the pieces together for you guys here. I showed you where we are now, and now I'm just taking you back through history here in terms of the World Bank proposing this green bond issuance, and then the Bank of International Settlements creating this in collaboration with the Singapore, or the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the new consortium, which is Liberty, through SC Ventures and Shareable.
We have one planet, and as a society, we have crossed the tipping point of the demands we make on it. The problems we face are complex, and by not fixing the imbalances, the dangers that face us threaten our very existence. But with any challenge that seems so big, there lies an opportunity to do things better. We are all vulnerable to environmental risks, but those who live in poverty face more extreme consequences. What kind of world do we want to leave to our children? What decisions can we make today to ensure our planet is livable tomorrow? In November 2008, the World Bank defined the blueprint for more sustainable financial markets, bridging the gap between investors and development projects within.
You hear how long ago that was? In 2008, okay? This is before Bitcoin came out.
New debt instrument. And we gave it a name, the Green Bond. And the market has grown, giving all types of investors the choice to fund projects that have a positive social and environmental impact without the project or country risk. Data is revolutionizing the sustainable investment.
Perfect. Okay, I won't go too far into that. Here we go here. The BIS launches second green bond fund for central banks, and that was January 25th, 2021. And here's, now I started off with the Euro bond, and then went to Singapore bond, and now here we are ending off in the euro-denominated open-ended green bond fund for central banks, built on the source of the first US dollar-denominated green bond fund. As we learned about Project Genesis, all of that is going to be utilizing XLM. The carbon credits are a different story. I'm not familiar. I can't speak to that. I can talk to this itself, though, the issuance of the green bonds. The two funds belong to the BIS Green Bond Fund Initiative and invest in high-quality bonds that comply with international green standards and finance environmentally friendly projects. The BIS and participating central banks are strongly committed to supporting environmentally responsible investment practices. The Bank for International Settlements has launched a euro-denominated open-ended bond for green bond investments by central banks and official institutions. The launch follows the successful introduction of the BIS Green Bond Fund, which we had just gone over. I thank you guys for spending some time with me, learning a bit about bonds, learning a bit about green bonds, figuring out and learning and determining that these green bonds will be on the XLM rail here. So I do hold a bag of XLM. I'm putting that out there. I'm definitely bullish and favorable on XLM, not financial advice. I'm just giving you guys my heart. I'm giving you a piece of me here. That's it. All right? So don't say Mr. Man came and told me to do this. Mr. Man came and told me to do that. I told you to do nothing. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and that's it. Because I like to be transparent and provide transparency to my followers and let you guys know what I'm doing. Thank you for taking the time to learn with me, to grow with me, to educate yourself with me, and educate myself by educating yourself. Until the next time, you guys, let's do this again.
Making major moves. We going all in, like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.